Ventura. Good job. This book here is one, it's phenomenal. And that's not just because I have a blurb on the back of it. But it is phenomenal because Brennan DeFrisco is a phenomenal writer, a phenomenal performance poet, a phenomenal just entity in general. Just one of the kindest, most generous human beings I know. Folks, there are a couple chairs right up front here, and then a few in the center right here. So if you would like to sit, you're more than welcome to come up here. I think it's, as somebody who, I toured a lot in my day, 1.2 million miles. And I only say that number because in those 1.2 million miles, no matter how far out I went, coming back home, I always found what I needed to find. You know, it didn't matter what was out there. I would always come home. And I learned things that I was able to bring back to San Jose, bring back to the South Bay, bring back to Santa Clara County in California. But honestly, like, it's so much nicer when that goodness shows up at your door, shows up at your, and whenever Brennan DeFrisco shows up at my door, I know the day's going to be fine. Not just fine, but probably good and very likely great. Because he's such a good guy, you know? And it's like, there's nothing in the world like having a friend who can also out-poem you. You know what I mean? And so it is with absolute great pleasure that I bring up to this area right here, my friend, and soon to be yours, Brennan DeFrisco.
You ever have a friend set the bar so high that
you're fucked?
Yeah, that's a lot coming from the first slam I ever met Mike McGee at was on my birthday at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. And I went in there jazzed, like I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna get first and second, feeling good. And then Mike comes in. I've never seen him before, didn't know his backstory, history, just 30-30, like perfect score. Absolutely smoked me out of the water. And I've never been happier to lose to a kinder and more wonderful human being. Give a round of applause for your host. This first poem is for you. This is called Amazing. Excuse me. Yes, you in the room looking up at me, I have reason to believe that you are amazing! And here's why. Did you know you can glow in the dark? Humans are bioluminescent. No matter what color your skin is, this light that our eyes can't see lets all the other predators know where we are. And we all look delicious when the moon wakes up hungry, so instead let's talk about love. An avalanche of neurotransmitters moving through. They speed up your heartbeat, make it hard to eat or sleep. These are the same chemical effects as amphetamines. We are literally addicted to love. In your blood, there will always flow a small dash of gold. You are more precious than you know. And did you know we share half our genetic code with bananas? Or that a few of us can taste the flavor of syllables as we speak them? Some women have an extra color receptor or two and see more shades of red and blue than men will ever know. Loneliness is physically painful. The same part of the brain that makes pain frightening drives us to connect, to seek companionship, to feel home in someone else's arms, and to feel lost when you aren't there. Which may explain why your tears act like memories. They change shape depending on why you're crying. Even though 90% of the cells in your body have their own DNA and are not technically you, every atom you are, is 99.999% empty space. And none of them are the ones you were born with, but all of them were born in the belly of a star. You are so amazing. I just thought you should know. I've been up in Santa Rosa for the past 2 weeks teaching K through 6 workshops, poetry, and I'm going to take a moment to tell a quick story about some kindergartners, because I may have reached the pinnacle of my teaching artist career. We were doing a poem mixing the colors with the senses, so like red looks like, green smells like, blue tastes like, and seeing what they had to say. And we'd already had a check-in with the substitute and the TA about potty language, so I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't do dog pee in the poem. So we're writing this new poem, and I ask, all right, what does red look like? What does red look like? And the first kindergartner raises his hand and says, blood! I'm like, okay, we can manage this. This is like blood not inherently bad. Maybe if I don't freak out about blood, they won't freak out when they skin their knee. So, okay, we can do blood. And since we are poets and we're trying to use more words and, expand our language, what kind of blood? The second kindergartner raises their hand and says, flaming blood. I'm like, okay. The substitute starts looking nervous and the TA starts smiling a little more. And I'm like, okay, red looks like flaming blood. And the whole class behind me goes, yeah. So we finish the rest of the poem. I start handing them out their sheets for them to start writing their own poem. And I take a picture of the board, because I'm definitely keeping red looks like flaming blood. And after I take the picture, I start erasing it. Because if you leave the sample poem up, the kindergartners are just going to write exactly. At least some of them are going to have the exact same poem. So I start erasing it, and the third kid in the back says, oh, I wanted to use flaming blood. And I turn around and I'm like, well, it's the class poem, and everybody has a sheet now. You can do whatever you want on your what red looks like. And I go back to it, erasing it, and in 3 seconds flat, 20 kindergartners are banging on their desks chanting, flaming blood, flaming blood, flaming blood. And the substitute looks like braced, and the TA is like in disbelief, and I look at both of them and I'm like, this might be the best moment of my teaching career, because it's 90% likely that they're just kindergartners having a fun moment, but all the signs are there. So if this is the end times moment and I go out by 20 possessed kindergartners chanting flaming blood, I'm gonna have a great apocalypse story. So it takes 3 full minutes to calm them down. And as soon as I get my girlfriend on the phone and tell her this story, her immediate reaction is, so you have a little coven? You have a tiny coven of kindergartners in Sonoma Valley? And I said, I do. And that was our first day working together. So this is the end of their residency, and they're all going to read tomorrow at the assembly, all the poems. So just a slice of what's happening now. I can't keep that story to myself. I'm going to tell it as often as I can, because that's the most metal kindergarten class I've ever seen. Next poem. Poet sits in a city of poets. Bourbon burns a blaze of flesh despite the ice. Try as lime and ginger might, the night sky reminds the sun it has not been approved for overtime, so our self-centric stars clocking out. A slow walk to the parking lot, palette of amber and violets in its wake. Someone must know the color's name of a confused blue sky, holding daylight's last deep breath before clouds start inspiring artists to be artists again. Poet sits in a city of poets. Sign says no smoking. Building holds as many ghosts as it wants to. Two-faced landlord charging them rent. Purgatory's getting expensive. Everyone wants 5 more minutes. And late-stage capitalism both winning and sabotaging the war at the same time. We survive systems and live for the people we love. Whether that is enough for you, you are enough. Poet sits in a city of poets, and music is filling in all the corners. Guitar knows its way around a drop D, each note a syllable, true stories spoken in strings. We should all be learning more ways to speak. Silence comes for everyone eventually. I am grateful we are still close enough to hear each other dream. Poet sits in a city of poets. Stars will show their old photographs soon. The room will disperse its collection of separate lives, and perhaps a small joy of our time together will stay a while, linger between dreams and morning coffee. It's all we can do to hold these moments, even as they pass through hands like sand through a city of poets. I hope your beach leaves you knee-deep in laughter. I hope your desert leaves room for an oasis. I hope your hourglass cracks under the weight of all the times love pronounces your name correctly. I hope you quicksand into someone's arms and forget what it ever felt like to sink. Time for one more or two more.
I'd say you got time for two.
All right, cheers. This next poem got me a 5 at a certain judge in Berkeley, and I think his date was particularly embarrassed to be there. A study has shown that 75% of sexual lives of flying fox fruit bats are spent performing cunnilingus in the interest of pleasing their female partners and ensuring continuation of the species. In 2014, DJ Khaled stated in a radio interview that while he expects oral sex from his wife, he refuses to reciprocate because there's different rules for men. This is from the flying fox fruit bat to DJ Khaled. My small tongue was designed for eucalyptus. Scientists have been kind enough to describe my snout as impressive. I may be half blind, but I can hear a bull shit from a mile away. I get around by listening, and am silent when not serenading those I would be closer to. I was voted best ears, and when I hear apex predators are getting lazy, and when I hear their lovers sigh to sleep at night without a divine cry for their gods, and when I hear you say this is to be expected, performed, makes me wonder how you humans mate at all. Have you really never hung upside down and kissed someone towards the stars? Never wrapped your wings around your lover or wondered if the vertebrae in your neck might break? What I wouldn't give for more mouth, a second tongue, opposable thumbs to make my partner shatter galaxies in their own body. But you, DJ, you don't deserve lips. You wouldn't last one Tinder date as a bat. Masculinity as fragile as my smallest bones, ready to snap from flight any moment nowadays. When your radio throwbacks reach my trees or cave, it sounds a lot like you're saying, and every time I'm in the building, everybody's pants go up. And they stay there. Today, I wondered if all your lovers ever wished they were bats, so they might find a partner who treats their body like scripture instead of something to love them in spite of. My tongue was designed for flowers, staining all the beautiful blooms of night. Your tongue gives more interviews than orgasms. Your tongue loves the sound of your own name, but only when you scream it. Your tongue reaches back, esophageal, to the oldest muscle memories of patriarchy. Let me ask you a question. How the fuck to become top of the food chain without ever learning to use your mouth. That poem was like high risk, high reward, right? So I was like, no fucking way a rough draft is touching the stage. All right, I'm gonna do one more poem, and we're gonna get to hear an amazing poet from Southern California. Thank you very much, Mike, for having us all here, for holding this space. Thank you all for being here and ignoring your probably impressive queue of streaming shows to attend live art and poetry. Thank you for you. It's April, and we're having a 30-30. So because it's late and I haven't written my poem, we're gonna write something new. So let's see how it goes. I don't know the name of this color on the wall. Something between red and brown that got in a fight, and this is all that's left. No one left accountable to say why or what or whose fist swung first. This is not to say I do not appreciate the library. This is one of the last churches poets have. There are so many ghosts of writers in the next room that we still know the names of because they still haunt our shelves. What a wonderful thing to be an artist and leave a small slice of yourself in immortality, that there is no idea how far the ripples go. If anybody buys my book, there's no telling when fossilized it will be found. Maybe someone will decipher the language, figure out what the poet was trying to say, and if not, they will say, what wonderful plants on the cover. If only the heart could be grown in a garden, maybe we wouldn't have to spend so much on healthcare. Perhaps there are more growing things in the earth than we are yet to know. Perhaps all the best plants have been kept secret in an underground pharmaceutical facility. It's a wonder cannabis found us at all. I am standing in a room full of poets, and the sun has already finished its daily work. Golden hour is now a memory, and we are waiting for the next poem, which is to say, there is a poem being written inside of you even as I speak and most listen. This is a small space, for poetry itself is a spell, a way of putting magic out into the world, and the magic is yourself. I am still learning how to pronounce the words. I am still seeking the right ones. I am still stumbling over my own inaccuracies, and so many things I would do differently if given more time. And time being the one thing that fills our pages. Be the dash you want to see in the world. Allow your words to tell others what you have seen. Be the poet we need, and we need poets.